Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Sheffield United match reaction. My name's Nick, if you didn't know already, and I'm sick of watching Sheffield United lose week in, week out, especially at home at Bramall Lane, where it's been a fortress. Well, for most of my lifetime, anyway, and I'm just sick of us losing at home, especially when it's a team from around here and a team that we've had certain problems with in the past. I was talking to Chad and Noah from the Red Alpha Sheffield before the game, FaceTime them before the game, and I said, "This one's for Billy Sharp." Just a pity the players didn't think that. Yeah, it's a big shame. We've gone and lost 3-1 at home to Nottingham Forest. And like I said, I'm just sick of watching the Blades lose at home. Away, you can take. Like, you understand if you lose away from home, you're supposed to win your home games, but losing again so easily in the end. Like, don't get me wrong, we started this game relatively well. We were the better team, in my opinion, in the first half, even though we went in 1-all. We created way more chances. I feel like they had about 4 or 5 chances in this game and scored 3 of them. And that's just what it felt like from the stand. Maybe I'm being a little bit biased there. Apparently, they had 15 goal attempts, but only 4 on target. We had 17, 5 on target. I don't remember half of those goal attempts from Forest, but it's not the shots that matter. It's the shots that go in the back of the net. And clearly, they're just better at shooting at goal than we are. It's ridiculous, isn't it? By the way, what do you think? Absolutely love this shirt. If you've seen it on Instagram, I posted this the other day. I absolutely love it. We should have added it. We should have been playing in it all season. But saying that, I'd have probably hated it if I'd have seen us playing it all season. But yeah, we started the game well. We scored after 17 minutes. It was only a penalty. I say only a penalty. We created a really good opportunity. The ball went forward towards Jaden Bogle. He wins the header. Really, really good header. Jaden's been much better at that this season, playing that diagonal ball. I can't remember where it came from, to be honest. I'm assuming it's diagonal because you don't really remember these chances until they come to fruition, and it ends up in a bit of a chance. So the ball's played forward. Jaden Bogle wins the header. It goes towards Archer. Archer does really well, brings it down, pushes it on forward. Brereton Diaz is in a better position. He lays it through to Brereton Diaz. He takes a bit of a heavy touch, but he's still in control of it. And Montiel just comes across and takes him out. I think he's actually trying to pull out of the challenge, but he doesn't, and he catches him. I think, obviously, Brereton Diaz is looking for it. Of course, every Premier League footballer, every footballer these days is looking for it, especially when someone slides across the box like that. If one of our defenders does that and the player goes down with minimal contact, I'm saying, you idiot. I'm not saying he's dived. I'm not at all. So, yeah, understand Brereton Diaz has got to go down in that position. He might have got to it. He might have not. I think it was Willy Bolly. Looked like he may have cleared it. But when you're sliding in like that, you're only expecting one result, and that's a penalty kick. Brereton Diaz steps up to take it, slots it past the goalkeeper, sends him the wrong way, which he's very, very good at. Brereton Diaz. He's scored a lot of penalties in his time. And I think that's 6 goals for Brereton Diaz now. And I think 6 goals makes him our top goal scorer for the season. Coming in January, he's our top goal scorer. Now, obviously, I'm not saying this in a negative light to Brereton Diaz. That sounds a little bit like that, but he's been fantastic. I'm saying it because McBurney, Archer, Asula's had enough chances. Asula's played a lot of minutes. These players should have scored more goals. Now, McBurney's got 6. So McBurney's on the same amount of goals as Brereton Diaz. He's had a lot of injuries as well, so you can't really blame McBurney too much. And he's not an out-and-out goal scorer. McBurney has got a job to do, and he does it well when he's playing and when he's on form. Archer should have scored a lot more goals this season for me. He's had a lot of chances as well. I think recency bias takes over, and you think, Archer's been injured. Archer's been on the bench. But actually, early on in the season, Archer had a lot of minutes and he should have done a lot better than what he has. But Ben Burton Diaz, I would absolutely love. I would die to see him at Bramall Lane next season. It'd be fantastic. I think there'll be a lot of transfers coming in and a lot of players let go next season. Um, and I hope that Ben Burton Diaz somehow finds his way back to Bramall Lane, and I hope it's in a red and white shirt. Because I'm a big fan of his. Anyway, that's as good as it got, really, because we had a lot of chances, but we didn't take them. We really didn't. And Forest scored in the 27th minute. 10 minutes we got a chat. We got 10 minutes of being in front. How good's that, Blades? How good is that? And again, it's our own doing because Jack Robinson gets the ball sort of in between the defense and the midfield. Ollie Arblaster is around him. It's almost looking like Ollie Arblaster's coming towards him to take the ball off him, but Robinson passes it at Arblaster when he's literally right next to him, and then it rebounds to Gibbs White. He plays it out wide plays it central to Danilo. He plays it out wide to Callum Hudson-Odoi. He pushes it inside. Bogle is kind of flat-footed, but you don't expect from that distance for him to put it in the top corner. He takes the touch inside and it sits up perfectly, and he just caresses it into that top corner. Now, I'm not seeing it from behind the goal. I sit on the south stand, so it's from the side. It looked like a very, very good goal. Not sure if Wes could have got anywhere near it. It didn't look like he did, but it just looked like all Forest goals today. Again, not Wes's fault. Wes hadn't put a foot wrong since he's come back into the Blades 11. But yeah, it's a very, very good finish. But again, it's our own doing, just messing about with it in the midfield. I think he had quite a lot of time as well, Robinson, to just either put his foot through it or play an early pass. But I'm not going to blame Robinson too much because I think Robinson's been really, really good this season. His distribution from the back is when he's got the ball at his feet, so much better than it's ever been before. It reminds me of Egan because Egan was a little bit like worrisome on the ball when he got it at times early on in his Blades career, and he just got so much better on the ball, bringing it out. And Robinson, I no longer worry when he's got the ball. However, obviously, this was a mistake today, and all Blades, all footballers are allowed a mistake or two. They are. So we'll let him off in this instance, but this is where it started. Obviously, Forest took their chance. They went 1-1. And then we were, again, before half time, we had our chances. We had loads of chances. Harmer gets the ball in the midfield, hits an absolute perler of a strike, and the keeper pushes it over the bar. One of them where you don't expect it to fly into the top corner, but it was a great effort from Gus Harmer. The keeper pushed over. Then I think it was Archer. I don't know which one came first, but Archer went through on the angle, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. I think he tries to put it over the top of him or just by the side of him. He makes the save. Should have done better with that one. Ben Burton Diaz gets played through. He's got oceans of space in front of him. And it's almost like it's just a side foot into that corner. And he tries to play it across the goalkeeper where a defender is, and he blocks it and it goes away. I've not seen that one back, so I can't really criticize him too much, but it looks like he had so much space to just do whatever. He could have either passed it, he could have took another touch, he could have just had a shot first time and aimed for that corner, but he did none of those, and he aimed for the other corner, which the defender blocked, and it went out. And maybe he was just trying to reverse it and thinking that the keeper and the player is going to go that way, so put it in the other corner, but it didn't work for him. And it was a big shame because Ben Burton is such a good player. But I feel like a lot of the times he's let down by his final shot, really. And sometimes his final ball, because when he's playing other players in, but he just makes things happen for us. He just does. Like, if Ben Brereton Diaz didn't come into the Sheffield United side, where would we be right now? Because he's the one that makes everything happen going forward in attacking places. And love him to bits. Absolutely love him to bits, as I said earlier on. We go into half time. I think all Blades fans, I thought we played well, but I don't think we were incredible. And there were a lot of Blades fans saying how well we played in that first half. And Yeah, I thought we played well. I thought we created a lot of chances. I think it's just the fact that we spurned most of them that made me think that we didn't play as well as what maybe other people were thinking. Um, but we go into the second half. Uh, Somebody at half time said to me that, oh, all we need to do is keep playing how we're playing, keep creating chances, and it'll come. And I've thought that all season. And I'm not too wet behind the ears to think that we're gonna end up spurning loads more chances, and they're gonna score a goal, which is exactly what happened. And we go into the second half. What minute was it? 65th? No, sorry, it was the 51st minute. So we managed a whole 6 minutes of the second half before conceding, and it was another comedy of errors. Morgan Gibbs White just flicks it into the box. For some reason, Alanga is all on his own at the back stick. Brereton Diaz goes down. It doesn't look like, I think it's Murillo, touches him at all. It just doesn't. And the way that he went down made me think that that is a stonewall free kick. And I was expecting at the time that it was going to be brought back by VAR because it did go to VAR. And when they were like, "Nope, it's a goal," and it happened pretty quickly, I'm thinking, how how's he gone down like that? I don't know. He must have felt some sort of contact and just thrown himself to the ground. It didn't look like much anyway, put it that way. But Alanga flicks it into the box with his side foot. This is what winds me up the most, though. Enel leaves his man in Ryan Yates, who scores the goal, to go and hold on to Willy Bolly. He literally grabs Willy Bolly, who heads the ball back to Yates. Trusty goes up for the header, completely misses it. So you've got two players marking Willy Bolly, who eventually heads the ball down for a unmarked man to smash it in the back of the net. You've got one holding on to him and one jumping freely. Now, I'm not being funny. If we give a penalty for this, fair enough. But how's he won that header when there's two players marking him, one holding him? I have no idea. And the fact that Enel leaves his man to hold him doesn't, like, he's the one that assists the goal and his man smashes it in the back of the net is just absolutely ridiculous and just shows how bad we are at defending, especially free kicks, especially corners, especially set pieces in general. It's really bad, and I hate seeing it. I really do. And hopefully next season this will all get cleared up, and we'll have two or three centre backs that know how to win a ball and know how to mark players and won't leave the man. It really frustrates me. It really does, as you can see. I played centre back for most of my career, Sunday League career, and if I'd have just left my man like that, I'd have got an absolute shoe in. But professionals do it. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so that goes 2-1. And as soon as it goes 2-1, I'm thinking, yeah, it's over. It's probably over because it has been most of the season. But we don't. We go forward a few more times. Harmer tries to play the ball through to Brereton Diaz. It comes back to him. He has a shot. It just goes wide. I feel like there was another chance for Ben Brereton Diaz, but I can't remember what it was. I didn't write any notes for this. I really didn't, just because I'd had a few drinks before the game and I was a little bit inebriated whilst I was watching the game. I'll be honest. I've sobered up a little bit now. But I didn't. Completely forgot to take notes, and it almost feels like I'm going back 5 or 6 years in the past because that's what I used to do. I used to watch the game, not have to do a match reaction afterwards. And yeah, I could just go home and try and forget about the game. But it's not like that these days, is it? Anyway, so Forest again go forward. Callum Hudson-Odoi cuts inside Bogle and hits the outside of the post. And this is just what I'm watching this thinking that was a let off. Most teams, if you have a let off, don't let that happen again. He does the exact same thing again, but this time he's running at Enel. He comes inside. Enel throws his body at it, tries to block it, but he curls it into the bottom corner. It's so easy. And this is that same goal curling into the bottom corner or smashing into the bottom corner from distance, just inside the box or just outside the box. It's probably happened 10, 15 times this season. A lot at Bramall Lane, and I'm sick of seeing it. We're not getting close enough to his man. And they're just good players that find the bottom corner, find the top corner, and yeah, we don't have those players. We just don't. And yeah, Forest have a few. I'll be honest with you. Before Forest scored their first goal, and maybe even the full first half, I thought Forest were awful. I thought they were one of the worst teams to come to Bramall Lane, but they still go away with 3 points. And that just shows the difference in class between us and teams like Forest, even. Like Burnley. Burnley came to Bramall Lane and beat us 4-1. They absolutely hammered us in that second half. Yes, we were, again, unlucky. We missed big chances. But these other teams that are around us don't miss those chances. And I was saying to a lot of people around me earlier on, when the first goal goes in for Forest, that doesn't happen in the Championship. Like, that is missed probably 9 out of 10 times in the Championship. So next season, I'm not expecting us to concede anywhere near as many goals from distance. And when I say distance, I mean around the edge of the 18-yard box. But in the Premier League, you do, because you're playing against really, really good players. And obviously, Callum Hudson-Odoi, I think a lot of Chelsea fans expected him to be this player that we're seeing scoring goals from distance and curling it into the corner and stuff, but he hasn't been that. But he's still got bags and bags of quality. And if we're just going to let him score from distance, then, well, shoot from distance, he's going to score goals, isn't he? And then yeah, I think the only thing to talk about now is the fact that Anel got sent off, which I think a lot of Blades have probably walked away from that game and thought, "Did I? When did that happen?" And unfortunately, I was there at 90+6 to see Anel Ahmedhodzic get a second yellow and get himself sent off. There's only 2 games left. He's going to miss one of them. At least we've got Holgate. I don't know why Holgate's on the bench. I think he was on the bench. I don't know why Holgate's not playing. But saying that, I think that Trusty played okay at central centre back. And maybe the reason why Chris Wilder is not playing Holgate is because he's not going to be here next season, or he might not be here next season. Who knows if Chris wants to try and sign him? Who knows if Everton want to get him off the books? But it looks like he's not interested in trying to sign him with him not starting him, because I certainly would have played a Nell central centre back at Holgate and then Robinson at left centre back. But yeah, let's go through some of the ratings. Anel got a 4.6. Sorry, I didn't even talk about the sending off, did I? So Anel got sent off for jumping up with his man, and I think just leading with his elbow or his arm or something like that. I can't remember the first booking. It's probably quite innocuous. The second one, he probably could have got away with this. And in the 90+6th minute, when you're 2 goals behind, I think the ref could have easily just let this go. There's 2 games left. We're relegated already. We're not winning this game in the 90+6th minute. Do you really need to send him off for leading with his elbow? He's not. It's For me, it's not really a cut and dry booking. I just think it was something that could have got let go. Anyway, Anel gets a 4.6. I think a lot of that has to do with the red. The second goal, in my opinion, was his fault for leaving Yates. The third goal, he let Callum Hudson-Odoi come in on his right foot and score. So, yeah, that's fair. Wes gets a 5.5. I think it's pretty harsh, but at the end of the day, stats are stats. Wes didn't make many saves and conceded 3 goals that weren't his fault, but he let 3 goals in. Robinson out of the back three came out with a 6.3. I thought he was okay today, other than obviously passing the ball straight at our plaster for them to score the first goal. Bogle, I thought, had a really, really good game in the first half, started the second well, but after that, I'm not blaming Bogle. I'm just blaming the fact that we couldn't utilize him as well as what we could have done, because Jaden Bogle's been one of the better players in the second half of the season, especially under Chris Wilder. Harmer was fantastic, as he usually is. Yeah, I hope we keep hold of him. Arblast had a really good game as well. Brooks was a little bit off it. It looked like he was cramping up towards the end of the game and obviously got brought off. I love Brooks. I think he's a fantastic player, Andre Brooks. I just don't think he's got the confidence to pick the ball up and run with it. He kind of moves forward really slowly, it stops and turns passes. And I just want to see him get a little bit more confident and just drive with the ball because he's got that ability, like Arblaster does. Arblaster picks the ball up and he drives through, and he does it so effectively as well. There was one time where he went to play Burton Diaz through, I think it was at 3-1, and he'd kind of left it a little bit too late and there was a little bit too much on it. It's kind of like one of those where he plays it just as Burton Diaz kind of sits off his defender asking for it short. And you could see how much it meant to him, the fact that he'd played this poor pass. He was devastated. And that's what we want to see. And that's what we want to see next season. So everybody, hands off Ollie Arblaster. Here's ours. You're going to have to pay at least 25, 30 million for him, if not more. Because the guy is such a great player. I said this to my sister earlier on, like, I don't want to sell him for a second. But if you can do what you did with sort of David Brooks and use that money to get promoted, sometimes that works. But there's no chance that unless an absolute phenomenal amount of money comes in, we are not selling Ollie Arblaster. What a player that boy is. And he looks like a 10-year-old and he plays like an absolute man. It's great to see. Cameron Archer had an okay game, but I expected so much more from Archer this season. Broughton Diaz got the highest rating of the lot. For some reason, Gibbs White got an 8.5. I think Gibbs White had a really poor game today. Yeah, a lot of stuff went through him. He got an assist for passing it to Callum Hudson-Odoi, but especially in that first half, I think he had a bad game. And I'm a massive Gibbs White fan, and I disagree with a lot of the booing because what the hell is Gibbs White supposed to do? Like, Wolves, he started the season at Wolves. He wanted to play for Wolves. He had a few games. The manager wasn't too enamored by him, and then Forest come in with a monumental bid for him, and Wolves were thinking, do you know what? We might as well cash in. Now that's actually looking like they've done a good deal, Forest, because Gibbs White could move. Imagine they go down. They probably won't now because they've beaten us. But imagine Forest go down. Gibbs White is going for 30, 40, 50 million quid. He is. He's English tax as well. But Forest came in, put a bid in for him, probably put him on a load of money. What's he going to do? Turn it down because he missed a penalty against Forest for us? I don't get why we booed him. I understand Sander. I understand more us booing Sander, leaving Sheffield United to go to Burnley when you've still got a year left on your contract. Gibbs White was never our player. Gibbs White was on loan. He was fantastic. Loved the club. Loved the fans. Loved his teammates. Did a fantastic job other than missing that fateful penalty. I felt like we embarrassed ourselves a little bit today. And people are going to give me grief for this in the comments, I know. But we should have given him a round of applause today and not booed him every time he got the ball. It was just ridiculous. And yeah, I'm still a big Gibbs White fan. I think he's a really good player. Anyway, let's go into the comments on that one. I'm really worried now. Yeah, I didn't boo him. I didn't boo him once today. Let me know what you guys think. Brilliant first half. How Archer did not score, I will never know. Do you know what Anel was thinking? And Brooks was tired, and Wilder didn't sub him off till we were 3-1 down. Shocking. A lot of people thinking that Wilder is making mistakes week on week when it comes to substitutions. We'll have to see what happens next season, won't we? We need to get shot of Anel and Vinny. That's another one. Let's just bring this up right now. I'm not sure. Anel picked up his second yellow and a one-match ban after arguing with Vinny for 10 minutes. Incredibly unprofessional. And that's Anel was the captain until recently as well. But what I don't understand with Chris Wilder's substitutions today, we brought off Archer when we were, I think it was 3-1. We brought off Archer and brought on Vinny Souza. What are we doing? We've got Ben Burton Diaz, and I'm assuming McAtee was supposed to be the sort of second striker getting up there and supporting him. Ben Burton Diaz is not an out-and-out striker. He's fantastic, but he's not an out-and-out striker. McAtee is not a striker, or he's an attacking midfielder, but You need 2 goals back. Now, I'm not saying that we would have got them if we'd have put on Brewster or Asula, but Diaz, McAtee, Archer, none of those 3 are gonna be here next season, I wouldn't think. Brewster, Asula are gonna be here next season, whether you like it or not. I didn't mean it in that way. Still want Brewster to do well. Still think Asula's got a very, very bright future. Get him on. Just get him on. Like, say to Brewster, go on. It's a free hit. Don't get yourself injured. But what is the point in bringing on a defensive midfielder and letting McAtee go as high as he possibly can with Barrett and Diaz when neither of them are strikers? Ridiculous. Sorry about that last substitution, but here we go. It was ridiculous. Literally my words. We want goals, and he takes Archer off and Souza on. I think Wilder is a dinosaur. We need to need a complete new direction, especially on the pitch. Wowzers. God help us next season. Another embarrassing performance. Sorry, Wilder not for me. Is Wilder getting away with it too easy? Maybe so. I think the thing is with Chris Wilder, we all know what he's done for us in the past. So maybe he is getting an easier ride. Do you know when you're like you bring in a player for 10 million or whatever, and then you replace them with like a youngster? They both play as badly as each other, but you give the youngster the time and you don't give them as much stick because they're a youngster and they've still got time. Whereas Wilder, it almost feels like we're giving him more time and we're giving him less stick because of what he's done in the past. So that was probably not a great analogy, but I went there. I went for it. Anywhere else, he would be sacked. Maybe. We're far more likely to go down again than come back up. No other manager would survive the amount of batterings continuously. Harmer and Arblaster are good. The rest can get in the bin. Wowzers. There we go. Archer is awful. Get out of my club. Jimmy can shush. He blocked me for his, from his chat for praising the Lord Jefferson, and his fraud Archer gets away with murders the fraudulent striker. Well, there you go. Everyone's got their own opinion. At the end of the day, like I'm not going to give anyone stick for having an opinion that I'm not saying that Archer's particularly played well this season. I've said that I'm disappointed in him, but if I did, I wouldn't give you stick for it. For me, can't keep the same manager around when their team's conceding 100 plus goals in a season. No decent players will want to join us. Very, very worried. It will be different next season. Obviously, we're not going to concede 100 goals in the championship, but these players need to prove that they're good enough for the championship now. It's ridiculous that they're playing in the Premier League and we're not sure if they're good enough for the championship. Obviously, for me, Egan, more than good enough if we decide to keep him. Robinson, 100% good enough. Truste, not too sure about. I was saying before the game, I wouldn't even mind if Ben Osborne would be our left wing back next season. But today was a little bit all over the place. Jaden Bogle, obviously, we will keep him. I think he'll be fantastic next season, and I think he'll really, really put himself in the shop window for a free transfer, probably because it's the end of his contract this season. But we've got an option to trigger that extension, and of course we will do. I wouldn't watch it because I couldn't watch it because I was in bed for work. But as soon as I saw Wes lost 3-1, I knew we'd have scored first and thrown the lead away. How many times have we done that this season? It really winds me up, Chris. It really, really does. We have thrown so many. I think the last however many home games we've scored first and not won the game. It's ridiculous. And the fact that the games that we've won this season, we've scored first. We have never come back from losing and won a game of football this season anyway. Same old story. We're all on next season where we can compete for the whole match. Few bright things this season, but otherwise a complete waste of time. Looking forward to VAR-free season. Absolutely agree, Stephen, mate. Right, Nick, is Wilder a step forward or a step back? Me personally, I'd wished he'd leave so predictable, no plan B. Wilder out. Okay. Is he a step forward? I'm not sure he's a step forward. uh, and he'll prove next season whether he was a step back or whether he was the right man for the job. We'll have to wait and see. But like I said, I certainly don't think he's a step forward. John again, Wilder keeps going on about transfers. Where's the money coming from when the prince is skint? Obviously, the money will be coming in from parachute payments, but that's to help us pay for players' wages that we've bought, like Harmer. Um, and maybe Vinny Souza, we might not be able to sell him because he's not been very good this season. Archer obviously goes by Enel. Like, I think Enel's been okay recently, but in the last couple of games, he's been poor for me. He really is. Hudson Odoi cut inside about 5 times, and we still fell for it every time. Softest team I've ever seen. I can see us struggling in the champion. A lot of people are saying they can see us struggling in the championship. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't think we will struggle in the championship. I don't think we're anywhere near doing a Sunderland, as a lot of people are thinking. But we need to start quick because we're going to be on -2 anyway. We need to start quick. And if we don't, well, last time Wilder became Sheffield United manager, we lost a few games, and we can't afford to do that. We need to start quick next season. What's the difference between what Hecky did compared to Wilder? Well, Gaza, Hal's got a video coming out next week on that exact thing. Wilder comes out slightly better, but it's only slightly. We had chances after chances. Kelly saying absolutely agree. We should have put him away. We know there needs to be a player clear out, but Nick, is Wilder the one to do it? Mark Robbins, maybe. Is Mark Robbins going to want to come to Sheffield United after doing such a good job at Coventry? Coventry are probably 2 players away from a serious title, mounting a serious title shout, in my opinion. Who knows? But I'm so on the fence with Wilder. I'm so on the fence. I feel like this could be incredible. And I feel like Wilder could really, really wheel and deal really well, put us in a really good place. And also, it's Wilder. And I feel like Wilder, all the defeats hurt him more, and everything would just feel so much better with Wilder as the manager. However, it could all go massively wrong. And I'm really worried about that. And Wilder could really, really tarnish everything he's ever done. I'm really worried. It's so on a knife edge for me. I think the first 5 to 10 games, or maybe just 5, will really show us where we are. And I think we'll all kind of know with the signings that we bring in and what team starts next season where we are. But it's tough. It's going to be tough. Obviously, Leicester and Ipswich have gone up today, or Ipswich have gone up today. Leicester are already up. Well, it's good that Leicester's gone up. If Leeds go up, it's probably good for us as well. Or Southampton. We need Leeds or Southampton to go up. And then one of those two will be difficult. They're going to be mounting a proper title charge. But anyway, we'll have to see. 12 months away from Division 1. Don't be silly. It could happen. Don't get me wrong. It could. It's happened to other teams before, but I just don't think it's. I don't think it will. This has made me feel more gutted than I ever thought. Same old story. Better team for most of the match, but can't take our chances. Coach, you are speaking my language, buddy. Speaking everybody's language. If people don't agree with Coach right now, I don't know what you're thinking. First half okay, second half fell to bits. We will do well next season. We will beat Wednesday next season. Do you know what? I think we will do well next season. I don't think we'll beat Wednesday. We just don't. We'll draw to them twice, probably knowing us. We'll have a 2-2 draw and a 0-0 draw. Something like that. It just always happens, doesn't it? I thought we'd go in guns blazing since we had nothing to play for, but nope. Just same old United. Absolutely. I'm going to fly through some of the comments now, guys. Nick, if BBD hadn't come, then we would be in the exact same position, rock bottom. Yes, we would have, but how many points? Well, actually, how many points have we picked up since he's come in? Have we won a game since Ben Burton Diaz come in? I'm not sure. We've certainly picked up points, like an odd point here or there, but he just makes everything better, doesn't he? He's just I don't think we'd have anywhere near as many shots on target if it weren't for Ben Brereton Diaz coming in. With a big summer rebuild, last thing we need is Wilder using 3 windows worth of budget on players he's wanted for 5 years at multiple clubs. Wrong man for the job, and he was before he came back. Fair enough. Fair enough. That, like I say, this is people's opinions. I might not agree with Wolfgang Bailey. I might agree with him, but each to their own. Each to their own. Every goal Hudson Odoi scored is identical. Even Nuno admitted in his post-match interview. So why on earth did NL allow him to turn? Yeah, absolutely agree. I'm afraid Chris is not the man for the job. Get Mark Robbins in ASAP. We're going to fly down some comments now because everyone seems to be saying the same thing. Sean Glover is saying time for us to wake up. Unless major investment next season, we're going to struggle. We might struggle, but again, I don't think we're going to go down. We lost 36 games. Very, very poor. Nah, we haven't lost 36 games. No, we haven't. I had to think then for a second. 100 goals conceded. Yep. I think the third one was the 100th goal conceded. It was going to happen, wasn't it? But I don't expect us to concede 3 goals at least every single game. It makes the attacker's job so much more difficult. If you're thinking we've got to score 4 goals at least to win a game, that's not the way to be. Half our team next season is going to be loans, meaning it's not even really our team as a club. We don't really have a team that, to be fair, what I will say about next season, a lot of people feel like we need to be splashing the cash and buying players for 4 or 5 million, like 5 or 6. No, in the championship, you do not need to do that. You need good frees, which these days, most players are just seeing out the contract. Look at Callum O'Hare. If you brought him in on a free, that's like a 10, 15, 20 million pound player. So if we brought him in on a free, we wouldn't be saying, "Oh, we should be spending loads of money." No, no, you don't get promoted with spending loads of money. Look at Leeds. Look at Leeds. You don't need to do that. You need to be shrewd. You need to bring in the right loans. You need to bring in the correct free transfers, and maybe wheel and deal with maybe a millionaire, 2 millionaire, 4 million, if or 3 million, whatever an L was. If you see a player that you feel like you could sell on for a lot more and will really, really kind of take the club forward. So, in my opinion, the championship, it's certainly not easy. But in the Premier League, you need to spend 20 million plus per player. Whereas in the championship, you don't need to spend that much money. You just need to get the right players in. Um, how much budget do you think we need for a rebuild, Nick? I'd say 30 million to even give us a chance. There we go. Like I've just said, I don't think you need to spend the money. Um, I couldn't put a number on how much money, but I think it's down to the wages. If you can get in frees and loans and ones, twos, threes, £4 million players, it's the wages. I think that we need to be giving out good wages to bring these players in. And yeah, we don't need to be spending 30 mil. And we'll obviously sell certain players that need to go. Archer will be going back. That'll be 15, 20 mil back, whatever it is. Vinny Souza, I reckon, will be trying to offload. He doesn't seem like he's bothered. NL, I feel like he's run his race, and I think he's already out of the door. I think he's got 1 foot out the door. I don't know if someone will come in for him. I hope they do because I don't think he's the man for us. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But I think we will sell the right amount of players to balance the books, and we'll have money for a rebuild. We're talking about a rebuild, but I still think that there will be a few players that we kind of want to leave the club that will still get another year's contract, in my opinion. I am desperate to see Egan back in a red and white shirt. I think we've missed him massively this year. I think there'll be a lot of fans that disagree with me, but I think that Egan, he needs to be back next season and he needs to be at the heart of the defense. I think he might have tried to move on if it wasn't for his injury. But yeah, Egan won't be looking for Egan will be looking for a new contract because of the injury. I think, like I say, if Egan didn't get injured, I think he'd have been maybe looking for a Premier League club again. but I think it's probably come at a good time for us, his injury. That's a shocking thing to say. But I think that we need Egan back in that back three, and I think he will guide us through, and we won't concede anywhere near as many goals next season because of Egan. With your Morgan Gibbs White, Nick, thank you very much. That seems a long time ago. Sorry for wittering on Blades fans. At least we've got Derby to look forward to. Yeah, Derby are back. It's good to go to a ground. Well, I've been to Derby about a million times, but it's good to go to a club that's round here and you get home at a good time. It's a good day out as well. Nick, we don't care about Gibbs White. You know the rest. I do know the rest. I hate Abdullah, not Morgan Gibbs White. Abdullah and Wilder make us crap. Even Hecky did a miracle getting this crap promoted. I need to calm down. All I'm going to say is Hecky did brilliantly last season, but we brought in McAtee, Doyle. We brought in Anel. That's 3 players last season that got us promoted. I don't think you can put that all down to Hecky. Obviously, Prince Abdullah had to make this all happen. So I don't think you can say. I think Wilder was actually the one who made the miracle happen when we got promoted to the Premier League in the first place. Hecky had a very good squad last season, one of the best squads in the league. So really, Hecky should have finished in the top 4 at least. He did a really good job to get us finishing second and getting us promoted. But we had some very good signings that we brought in. So I don't want to, for a second, to see us give it saying that Hecky did a miracle getting us promoted. He really didn't. What's happening with Baldock? This is another one. I don't know if he will be back before the end of the season, Elaine, but he's another one that I would love to see George Baldock finish his career at Bramall Lane because I love the guy. But I think for him, he probably needs to move on and he might go to Greece. He's picking up a lot of injuries these days. In the last couple of seasons, he's picked up too many injuries for my liking. And I feel like that's just what happens when you get older, Father Time takes over. And unfortunately, I feel like this could be the end of George Baldock at Sheffield United. However, I'd love to see him back next season. Didn't think I would ever say this, but Wilder has had his day. His substitutions in the last 6 games have been terrible. Taking strikers off and bringing on midfielders. I absolutely agree with that, John. Not necessarily that he's had his day, because he will have his chance next season. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens with Wilder because, like I said earlier, and it's on a knife edge for me. I don't know which way it's going to go. Wilder could absolutely ruin his legacy, or he could just completely bring us back to his feet. So I just don't know. Anyway, I'm going to have to leave it there. We've been going way too long, and I apologise for people that I've not got around to popping on screen. Egan will be crap next season. Needs to get rid. There we go. Everyone has their own opinions, and that's absolutely fine. I have mine, and I don't expect people to all agree with everything that I say. So, thank you very much, ladies and gents, for watching. Everyone, I appreciate you so much for being here because it's been a hard season. It's hard for me to sit here and talk about it for 40 minutes after I've just watched us play rubbish or throw goals away for fun. But I just appreciate everybody so much for sticking by obviously the Blades, also the channel, and yeah, tuning into these match reactions. They've not been easy, but yeah, they obviously become a lot easier when I see people commenting, people liking the video. So please make sure you like the video before you leave, and yeah, I'll see you soon, Blades. Fingers crossed for Everton.